a little bit about that, a little psychology, but with your permission, I'd like to share with you a little bit about my story. But first, I want to ask you a question. Does somebody type question in the chat, please? Just type in question real quick. If there was a way that I could say how great you could be, would you listen to me? If you're willing to listen to me for just about a few minutes, can just say yes in the chat. And if there was a price that you could pay that would give you the life that you seek, are you willing to pay that price today? If you're willing to pay the price to achieve your goals and dreams, to create the legacy you really want, to redefine the narrative, to be the best of the best, just type yes in the chat. Very good. And if there was some work that you could do, are you willing to roll up your sleeves? Now you know the work is on you. Are you willing to go to work to achieve everything you've ever wanted or dreamt of and to be able to impact lives throughout this world? Just type yes in that chat. And if there was a promise of silver and gold, of pleasures and treasures and fortunes untold, would you do what it takes no matter how tough? And would you dare never quit when the going gets rough? Would you build something great? Would you let it build you? Oh, you got a dream. You got a switch, an opportunity, but there's something else you must do. Because while you're building your dream has to build you. So if there was a way that I could say how great you could be, would you listen to me? I like to ask this one question. I always start off by asking permission just to share with you just a little bit about my story. You know, I've been very fortunate to have earned tens of millions of dollars and helped a lot of people do the same, but I didn't invent the systems. I just taught people what I learned from people who played above the line, people who built multi-billion dollar companies. And I found out that the success you want in any area of your life is like getting a recipe. Thanksgiving is coming up, and if you're gonna go to, if you grew up like I did, there was always dinner somewhere at someone's house, mainly your house or someone's house you visit. They had a dinner, and there were certain people, and they were just famous for making a certain dish. And let's just say somebody makes a delicious chocolate cake. And once you learn how to bake that cake, it doesn't matter what kitchen you're in. You know how to bake the cake. The success you want, the life you want, and the legacy you leave, and the behavior and activity that must go along with that, be in alignment with that, to help you achieve those goals and dreams. The goals and dreams that each and every one of you all have for a business that you have that's yours. But the opportunity has been provided by some incredible people who work very hard. I know because I've been in this industry, I've founded companies in this industry, and I know the type of work and commitment it takes, but you can't be in this space without caring about other people. So I want to let you know you're in the right place at the right time. I live here in Chicago, Illinois. I've lived 6 years in the state of Texas and 6 years in Georgia, and been very fortunate to have been an entrepreneur most of my life. And I'll be honest with you, entrepreneurs are crazy people. We're the only people that would rather work 100 hours to keep from working 40 hours a week for somebody else. And I've had a lot of successes and some that were not as successful. Everything from an NBA Summer League basketball league, and the Chicago Wildcats was our team here. Nick Anderson, if you're familiar with that name, was our coach. Byron Scott, formerly of Los Angeles Lakers, was the president. And I was the third largest shareholder in that league. And we got a chance to do a lot of incredible things, but helping the players to develop as leaders, better orators, and also we played so had a lot of fun playing basketball. I've also have a speaker training program. Diana Townsend alluded to that. I've been training speakers for over 32 years. I love to train speakers, not just how to speak, but to understand the psychology of communication, to know how the brain thinks, to know how to speak not only into the listening, but into the nervous system of another human being. I love that. I do it everywhere I go, in my home, with my children, with my wife, in my business, and in front of a stage, whether it's 25,000 people or just two, to be present and be fully self-expressed in communication. And I believe that is the core ingredient. If you're going to bake that cake, that's the core ingredient that's necessary to achieve anything in life that you desire, is how you're communicating, not just outward, but inward, because 57% of communication is also nonverbal. I've been very fortunate to have done a few things. I've had a lot of pitfalls as well, made a lot of money and lost millions of dollars on about three different occasions. And then learned how to create it, how to keep it, and then how to make it really have babies as well. And I can tell you that the industry that you're in right now, the position you're in right now, you're already building a future. And I'm going to talk about today how to build your future from your future. Because most people build their future from where they are right now, their present, which is really their past, and they operate in the habits and the rituals and keep doing the same things and having the same responses to different things. So I'm going to talk about a few things, but I really want to kind of clarify this knight thing. Many years ago, I was knighted by the Royal House of Cappadocia, Constantine the Great, and St. Helen. It's the oldest royal order on the planet that's active. It started over 2,000 years ago at the Royal House, 2000 BC. And then the actual order started in 312 AD. So when I was knighted many years ago, I later became the Grand Prior of Illinois, which was like the governorship. And I became the first Baron of the Royal House, the Baron of St. James of Cappadocia, the first one in the United States. And I'm very honored by that because my work in philanthropic arenas and my work in business and innovation was the reason why I was selected and nominated for it. It's a very rigorous process to get there. I also now serve as the Grand Prior General of the United States of America. So everything in America runs under my jurisdiction. We are now have 64 square miles of land in Belize, and we're building out an entire city with an embassy and all these great things. And I am so tickled pink because if you would have known my background, my mother raised myself and three sisters working in a grocery store. She didn't have much, but I've been working my entire life just trying to make my mother proud and provide a better life for my family. And many times I didn't know what to do. Many times it feels like you're alone, you're by yourself, but you toil forward because you have a goal, an ideal, something in front of you. And the question I would ask you is that what do you have in front of you? No matter where you are today. Sure, there's different levels of success, and your success is based on how you want to define it. There's a lot of ways to define it. There's people on this line, I assume, have earned millions and tens of millions of dollars and more. There's some people who are trying to figure it out. Some people they have happiness and joy every day when they wake up. But how do you put it all together so every single day you wake up and you wake up with a sense of purpose? You understand why you're here and you walk it with joy. And it's not about motivation anymore. It's about inspiration, to be inspired. Because when you're motivated, something's pushing you. But when you're inspired, you're drawn towards your goals and your dreams. You don't have to be pushed. You don't have to be convinced. You don't have to be motivated. You don't need company. You are the company that you need. Great is he who lives in me. Everything you need, you already have inside of you. Bob Proctor was a dear friend of mine before he passed away. And, Bob talked about the laws of attraction. In my last book, The Five Frequencies of High Performance, I talk about the laws of awareness. Because I can tell you, and I don't know many of you, but I know something about you, because we have a common thread or we would not be on this line. And that is that you understand there's more. If you believe that there's more for life, more to do, more to live, more to serve, write more in the chat. There's always more. There's always more. From the beginning of time, everything that exists, once upon a time, never existed. When you look at Switch and all the great work that you're doing and the great work that's yet to come, it all started with a vision. It started with a vision. There's a little boy in art class. Let's say his name is Johnny. He's in art class. He's in third grade. He's drawing a picture. The teacher looks over his shoulder and says, "Johnny, what are you drawing?" Johnny looks at the teacher and says, "Teacher, I'm drawing a picture of God." The teacher smiles and looks at Johnny and says, "Johnny, nobody knows what God looks like." The teacher looked back. Johnny looked back at the teacher and said, "They will in a minute." You see, that's what Switch has prepared, an opportunity to be futuristic, to stay innovative, to be on the cutting edge of everything, to be ahead of that. That means they're building a future from the future. And because you're building from the future, that means you're going to have some mental and emotional challenges because you're breaking the paradigm the way we always think and thought all of our life. Because what you live, you learn. What you learn, you practice. And what you practice, you become. My mother raised us all to love each other, and she wanted us to get good grades. Well, I did okay. In high school, I had a D average. I never attempted to get an A or a B. I once thought I had a B on my report card, but it was really two D's close together. My sister was very bright. My wife is a double scientist, physicist, geospatial analyst. So the running joke in our household is that she is super intelligent and I is rich. But not just in the monetary sense, but also I wake up every single day with a sense of joy. I've been on the stage with the top speakers in the world. I've trained many speakers, that some famous speakers, about how to speak and how to create even more of an impact, to use your voice like the soundtrack of a movie, that you speak into the nervous system of another human being. Sometimes my wife will call me up and say, please hurry up home and come home and speak into my nervous system. That's when I get a couple of tickets when she says that. So I want to talk to you all about building your future from your future. If you have pen and paper, I'd like you to take some notes. And with your permission, I'd like you to allow me to coach you for just a moment. I want to give you some information. I want you to look at it as if I was asking you to try on a new coat. It's a holiday season. I'm giving you this coat. Now, this coat that you're going to put on, it may not be for you. And you may not agree with it. You may not match the color or whatever it may be. It may be too warm. It may be too thin for you. And if you don't want the coat at the end of my conversation, I'll be back again next month and we'll try on some shoes. But if you like the coat, that's my gift to you. And that coat would be the renewing of the thought processes, the igniting of the fire of innovation, of imagination, and how to create the life that you really want to live. So what does it mean to build your future from the future? You know, most people build their life from where they are right now. They cast and they write out their goals and dreams, and they write them out. And a lot of times when they write those goals out, they're communicating from a sense of lack, as if they don't have what they want right now. Well, I believe when you build your future from the future, you must put yourself in a situation as if you have it right now, and then you walk back into it. You backtrack, you re-engineer it, you back it up. So what is it that you really, truly want? Please write that down. You know, I've been in front of over 1 million people in 25 countries, and, pretty obvious to me that most human beings pretty much want the same things, but we don't have clarity. And that's the word. Write that down, clarity. What is it that do I really, really want? What do I want? And then when you write that down, then ask yourself another question. Let's say that I have the thing I wrote down. Now, what do I want? And then ask yourself the same question. Okay, I wrote down two things. Now, let's say I have it. What do I want? You see, in your life, 80% of our life is driven by our subconscious mind. We operate on habit. We just operate the way we operate. We have triggers and anchors and things that just draw us back and take us back to a place. And we always operate from that place. We have conform, and conformity is really the enemy. So the reason why you conform is because you're in an environment that you're doing the same things over and over and over. You build a ritual from it, and now you just operate. Have you ever got up every morning and with intention brushed every single tooth in your mouth every single day? Now, when you drive a car, do you really focus on the road all the time? Have you ever been driving your car and you did like this and realized you were still in the road, right between the lines, but you kind of zoned out? Yeah. Those are the habits. Something happens and we react this way. Something happens and we react this way. I want to tag into the laws of awareness. 80% of life is driven by your subconscious mind. We're not totally in control. We're operating off our habits and instincts. 15% is intentional. 15% is intentional. That's intentional work. That means when you organize your thoughts, organize your to-do list, when you say you don't have enough time, you make the time. Because a person that makes billions of dollars every single year, they have the same 24 hours that we have. The person is able to go serve, or the mom is able to take care of the kids, take care of her home, work a job, or work a business. She has the same 24 hours. And sometimes it's rough. But when you organize your thought with intention, then everything lines up. But then there's the 5%. The 5% is where the magic lies. The 5% is when you get a chance to create. And that 5% is the most powerful gift that everyone on this line has. And that is your imagination. Everything in life happens two times: the inner and then the outer, the mental and then the physical, the thought and then the thing. If you look around the room that you're in right now, and no matter what you see in that room, please agree with me that everything that you see once upon a time never existed. But everything needed to create it was already here. So now in a rational train of thought, because we're operating off our habits and our rituals on subconscious and our intellect, and intellect is a deep word, then we really can't see the future sometimes. So we have to operate and go back into that scarcity mode, or the mode that keeps us secure that we know that we own that space. You see, intellectually, it's like a cloud. That means you have to chop it up, you have to see it, you have to understand it before you can move. Okay, and the clouds just roll. But intelligence is like the sky. You simply see. You see, and then you realize that everything you need was always right in front of you. It's closer than you think. My wife taught me a law called Tobler's Law. Tobler's Law. Write that down. Tobler's Law. Tobler's Law said that things that are like itself are closer to each other than things that are unlike itself. And if you look at all the relationships you have and the people you spend time around, there's a reason you spend time with those people. There's something you get, something that you give. There's some back and forth. There's some type of synergy. There's some type of energy, vibration, some type of frequency that brings you together. Because if they're not in alignment, you're not spending a lot of time with those people. And when it comes down to making money, for example, well, it's kind of easy because you don't make money, you create it. You just solve a problem, fill a need. You're already in the future. And so many people don't understand what you do, and perhaps you don't. But you have leadership, and you have to trust the instinct that got you here and brought you here in the very first place and never back down on that because you're creating a new horizon. You're creating something totally different. You're creating a life that other people will follow, and you are the pioneer, so to speak. Now, we've been talking about this type of currency, talking about NFTs for a long, long time, but now it's starting to sort out. That's why you're in the right place at the right time. So now it's going to come down to the way you choose to think. Because a lot of people say, well, you have to think outside the box. I don't believe that. I don't believe there is a box. And if there is no box, there's only possibility. Everything starts with the way you think. You know, Albert Einstein said that you cannot elevate from any level of your living using the same level of thinking that has you where you are. If you want to go to another level, you must elevate your level of thinking. You have to learn more. And here's a good thing about learning. You want to become a lifelong learner because everything you know how to do well, once upon a time you couldn't. You had to learn it. From the time you learn how to tie your shoes or count pennies to a dollar, everything that you mastered right now, you learn it. And you never want to lose that because that's the wonder of life. That is the key ingredient in baking that chocolate cake that's going to help you to win. And trust me, winning is fun. Winning is more fun than fun is fun. Winning is always fun. And when you win, celebrate. And when your person on your team and the other people in Switch win, you hear stories, celebrate that. Celebrate it because you're part of the whole. You're in a box that's filled with a vibration, an energy, and a frequency. And when they're in alignment, then you never lose. Right now, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, can you hear the music playing in the speaker? Can you hear the music in the room I'm in right now? If you can hear the music in the room, type yes. If you can't hear it, type no in the chat. If you cannot hear the music, type no. Because there is music in the room I'm in, and there's music in the room you're in. Now, let me kind of validate that. If I would have bring a radio into the room you're in and plugged it in, raised the antenna and turned it on, now can I get music in the room? Yes. But the music is not in the radio. The radio is simply picking up the energy, the vibration, and frequency that's already there. So in order to win at the highest level, to stay tuned in, to stay inspired, you got to stay tuned in. You got to tune in with intention the way you do until that becomes a habit. Until you wake up and that's just the way you operate. The way you think because your thoughts impact your words. When you start thinking a certain way, then you start feeling a certain way. You'll start speaking a certain way. And sometimes when you're speaking, it's not about what's coming out, it's how you hold your body, it's how you walk. Not with arrogance, but knowing. It's called a quiet intensity. See? So it begins with thought. Feed your thoughts. Read about your industry. Read about what great leaders do. If you want to be a great spouse, then read about people who made it happen in that area. If you want to make money, you read about people who went through the trials and tribulations and got victory from ashes. Like the phoenix, they rose from the ashes. Read about it. Because when you run into a situation, you'll be well equipped because now you have some resources to draw on. I remember when I was homeless, I knew I was wealthy, just waiting to go turn it around. And when I started making millions of dollars and then tens of millions of dollars, had a good friend of mine. I work in a nonprofit arena, and a good friend of mine, AJ, he sold his company for like 360 million. He said, James, I love you and your wife, Kara. You're doing some great work. But if you want to scale and go from 12 million to 100 million, you got to think differently. It's a different setup. Well, how do you do that? How do you protect it? How do you grow it? So I went down to his house and I stayed there for 3 days. And well, I went to stay for 3 days. I ended up staying for six. And he just began to teach. Another good friend of mine, he's the founder of Priceline.com, one of the co-founders. But he also created all those kiosks in the airports you get your boarding passes from. Yeah, he said, discover your gold medal talent. Your gold medal talent is what you do extremely well. The next time we come together, I'm going to talk about how to discover that for yourself. To get in alignment with who you are, to start identifying your purpose and attach it right to switch. Because the better you are, the better everything else is around you. It just happens. Because you can create the future you want and you can tell the future if you're willing to write it. I'm going to ask you all to do me a favor. Everybody hold their hand out like this. Hold their hand out this. I'm going to talk to you about the power of imagination. And I'm going to teach you how to tap into it. I want you to look into your palm and imagine a red apple in your hand. See the red apple. See water beating from the red apple. And you can see it. Now, keep looking at the red apple and now turn the apple green. And now it's green. Now turn it yellow. And now it's yellow. And if you look at that apple and you cut it in half, one half in each palm, inside the apple, you can actually see the inside of that apple and you can see seeds in the apple. Now, we know there's not really an apple there, but right now, if you look in your palm, if we are unmuted right now, you can see seeds in those apples. I want you to count the seeds. How many seeds do you see? How many seeds do you see? Now, let the apple go. Type in the chat how many seeds you see that were in your palm. 12 seeds, 6 seeds, 8 seeds, 4 seeds. Great. Now, you saw the seeds. You saw the apple red, you saw it green, you saw it yellow, and you counted the seeds from an apple that really wasn't there. Now, here is where the magic comes in. You can count the seeds in that apple, but you cannot count the apples in that seed. The most powerful thing you have is your imagination. That's the equalizer. And if you're willing to go to work, you can create the life that you want to live. But it begins with thought. Now, the key word, the key trigger there is to use the word imagination. If I want to enroll people, next week or next month when I come back, because Dana Townsend, she asked me to come and speak once. I said no, once is not going to be enough. We want to layer it. So I say I'll do it again because I really respect this woman. My family cares and loves this woman. We trust this woman. We want to celebrate that success that she wants, that she sees, that she's already in, but she's backing into it now. Okay. So when you want to win and you want to say, I want to live this certain life or be this certain person, then become it now. If you're not going to settle in the future, don't you settle now. If you're not going to procrastinate in the future, don't procrastinate now. There are no bad days. They're just days, man. I'm 7 years cancer free. Never had a bad day. Ever. They're just all days. Use the word imagination when you're speaking to people and when you're speaking to yourself. Imagine. Imagine, Latasha. Imagine, Mr. Grant Davini. I was talking to your leadership and Kristen and Kathleen and Diane, and I asked them about some of the people that were working and some people that were new and some people were seasoned. And Grant was one of the names that came out as something that they see in Grant. And they just gave me so many names. I had to stop writing at 5, but it gave me so many names. And I want to tell you that they see something in you, just like once upon a time, somebody saw something in me that I did not see. And now I'm the catalyst now. That now I can bring it out of other people, but I still have people around me to help me play even higher. It begins with thought, and your thoughts then turn into those emotions and feelings. Now, emotions and feelings are really tricky. I always say to separate how you feel from what you know to be true, because your feelings can deceive you. They can deceive you. Motivation is a liar. It comes and gets you all fired up and then it leaves you. Look, How many people on the line have ever felt like their heart was broken before? Anybody ever had their heart broken? Type yes if you ever had a heartbreak. Yeah, okay, yeah. Now, was your heart really broke, Jacqueline and Nira and William and Leela? Was your heart really broke? Because if your heart was broke, you'd be dead. So you were in a story, and now the feeling went in alignment with the story. When I train speakers, I teach speakers that psychology and how the brain works. Because when I talk about your voice is like the soundtrack of a movie, when you go and watch any movie or any show, there's a soundtrack, sometimes very subtle, that anchors the emotion that you have. If you understand that your voice is a soundtrack, even when you're not speaking out loud, the conversation you have internally, the things that cause us to self sabotage, we don't even know where it came from. We just say it's true, it's there, or we run from it or avoid it. You felt like your heart was broke. You couldn't get out of bed. You couldn't breathe. Oh, you're lethargic, but your heart wasn't really broke. Like somebody says, I have butterflies, like anxiety. I got butterflies. We do an EKG and there's no butterflies. You're in a feeling that came from a thought. To keep it, stay in control of those thoughts, learn to be, write this down, inner directed. When I come back, we're going to have a lot of fun because I really love people. I love what I get to do. I get to do this. You see? Because when I ask you the question, what do you want? And I want you to write that down. Keep writing. What do you want? Okay, I got it. What do I want? Okay, I got it. Before you get it, imagine you have it. You want a yacht? Put yourself on a yacht here. Same way you looked at that apple. Because at the end of the day, people just want to know that I just want to be somebody. What's my purpose? Why am I here? Am I making somebody proud? Am I doing a good job with my kids or whatever? Or can I finally find a way to get my relationship right? Or can I repair some things that damage has been done? Or can I make this world just a little bit better? Being part of the royal order is about faith, hope, and charity. This royal order was actually founded because Constantine, under his mother's behest, was the first ruler of Rome to make Christianity the religion of Rome. Only because they were persecuting Christians, and he's a politician. He needs to stop it. He later became a Christian, but he wasn't at first, and that's how it got to Europe. And if you look at 312 A.D., that he looked up into the sky and he saw this cross, and he began to paint the cross on the shields of the soldiers. His mother, Saint Helen, had found a cross that Jesus was crucified on, would take splinters of the cross and put it in a soldier's helmet to protect them. And they would tell you if they were alive today, if I could channel when they would speak, they saw a vision of victory and they saw that cross and they brought that cross and made it and gave it life. So I want you to look at your goals and dreams. Try to discover what it is you want. And I want you to stand on it. Paint it in your heart. When you wake up every single day, anchor in it. Prepare yourself mentally. Put yourself in state and expect to win because I never met a winner that did not expect to win. You have to expect it, even at your lowest moment. And winning may not just be the money. You all may have money. But maybe it's the relationship, or maybe it's health, or maybe it's the children. There's always a way. There's always a day. And you know what? Because you're already futuristic and you're working in a mindset of innovation and you're creating something in the future that you just got, some new technology. What is it? The market making. You just got some new technology. With Switch, you just got some new stuff, some new technology. Everybody's fired up. I was watching your comments in the chat. You're fired up. Don't lose that. Every day you got to ignite that because some people can stay excited for a little while. Other people stay excited for a little while longer. But winners stay excited for as long as it takes to win. So your thoughts impact the emotions. The emotions drive the words. You have to guard your words, guard your mind. You can't say things like, I don't have this, or I need this, or I don't feel this. You control the feeling. Even on a bad day, I'm going to show you something that's going to help you. No matter how you feel, if you ever felt depressed or lethargic, or you feel like it was just having one of those days, it's just a day. I want everybody, wherever you're sitting, sit up in a chair straight, shoulders back. Shoulders back. I want you to point your head to the ceiling and smile at the ceiling and make your teeth and smile at the ceiling, all teeth. And try your best to be depressed. Try it. You cannot do it because you change the way you hold your body, you change the emotion just like that. You change the soundtrack just like that. The soundtrack, when you're speaking to people and speaking internally, the soundtrack. And next month, when I come back, I'm going to teach you how to use the voice, how to understand personality traits, and not just to know what personality you have, but how to communicate into what you are not. You see? Because when you have repeated words, that's going to impact your actions, and your actions will create your habits. And the biggest challenge that most of us have is that we have our dreams, but our habits are not in alignment with the dreams. So the word is alignment or agreement. The poet once said, "Who am I? I am your constant companion. I'm your greatest helper or your heaviest burden. I can lift you upward or I could drag you down to failure. If you teach me to do a thing repeatedly, I promise I'll do it automatically. I am easily managed, but you must be firm with me. I am the first of all those who are great, and the last those who are failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I am not a machine, yet I operate with the precision of a machine, yet the intelligence of a human being. But if you teach me and train me, I'll lay the work at your feet. But if you are easy with me, I promise I will destroy you. You can run me for profit, or you can run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Who am I? I am called habit. Habit is my name. Your habits describe your character. If you do a thing, you're known for a thing. If you're a nice person, oh, she's a really nice person. He's a really nice guy. If you're a thief, oh, there's a thief. If you steal, you're a thief. See, your habits, what you do, describes who you are. Now, here's the core ingredient there is that in life, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. If you want to create a world that you have never, if you never want to create a world and live in a world you never have been in before, you must become a person that you've never been. And you can do that. You can do that every single day. You grow, but you seek that. You have to go out there and get in the water so you can be watered. Get more information. It'd be like the seeds in the soil. So your brain is like the soil. The thing about the soil that it grows stuff, but the problem is it doesn't care what you plant. Whatever you plant, it will grow. So what are you going to plant? Are you going to go out there and water the dirt and read a good book? Are you going to listen to a good YouTube video? Are you going to do a little bit of both? Now, I'm going to give you the trick to really anchoring things. I know a lot of stories, points, principles, quotes. I'm known for that. We have a lot of fun with that. But here's the thing. When you are reading a book from now on, I want you to utilize all of your senses when you read. Use your senses when you read the book. You got a gentleman on your team, Dennis Walker. I heard he's very analytical. And he wants to understand everything. And he wrote a book talking about steps of the orange peel journey. I was looking at that book on YouTube today. Matter of fact, I ordered that book today. I wanted to see the book. When I hear about a book, I want to see it. What does that mean? I have that curious nature, you see. I am a seeker. I seek more because it's fun. I was a D average student in high school. I might as well get smart now. Better late than never. So I plant more seeds in there and I'll learn more about it. I'll learn more, learn more, learn more. And no matter where I am, I can hold a conversation. I can gravitate and grab information quickly and know how to tie it in whatever I'm doing in part of my life. You've got incredible people with you already. Ben Jones, you got Diana, of course, Diana Townsend. You got Brigitte. I mean, she's over there. Is it Ranjit? She's an Aussie. She's out in Australia. Got people from all over the world here. The information you have, the backdrops. Everybody has a story here. A life worth living is worth recording and worth sharing. And in the world will ask, well, where were you when this great NFT movement happened? Where were you when this company switched, hit $1 trillion in value? Where were you? What was your piece in your switch in the switch? When did you make that switch? Where were you? And if nobody asks the question, you can make a statement. I remember when I was there, when I turned the corner, when I clicked that switch. Money goes where it's invited and it stays where it's welcome. Again, money goes where it is invited and it stays where it's welcome. What does that mean? When you invite someone to your house, do you prepare your house to receive guests? Of course you do. I would think you clean the bathroom. If you're a guy, you're at least going to sweep everything under the couch. But if you're a lady, the bathroom's going to be clean. Dishes probably be clean. If you're going to have dinner, you are in preparation to receive people for dinner. That means you're operating a certain state. You are in preparation with that expectancy. Now, if you want to invite money, then you must expect it. Because in life, you don't get what you want. You get what you expect. That means you already not act as if, you become as if until it becomes your reality. That stays where it's welcome. Well, Tobler's law again. It stays amongst its own kind. If you go somewhere and you feel welcome, don't you want to come back? Don't you want to hang out a little while? You go for an hour and stay 4, looking forward to coming back because you had such a great time being amongst your people. The greatest thing about the industry you're in, I've owned companies in this industry. I've been in the industry. I've been in home-based businesses for 30 years. I'll never leave it. I retired January 13th of 1995. I love it. And I love it because I was so skeptical and didn't want to touch it. I was so skeptical. I failed at it. It wasn't working for me. Woe is me. I wanted to quit, but I stayed in there and it worked out. And not only have I been able to earn tens of millions of dollars in the industry and then parlay and open up different companies to increase that, but I've been able to make impact, which is the greatest joy and the greatest reward. That is the truest treasure that you, Muhammad, yeah, William, yes, sir. You, Christine Diva, yeah, you, Dennis and Ben, Diana, always you, that you get to make a difference in somebody else's life by what you share with them and the example you set, and you can impact a little piece of this world if you would operate in that format. So it goes where it's invited, expect it. It stays where it's welcome. Become it. There's no stress. There's no frustration. Frustration is a self-imposed emotion. What's that about? You choose how you want to feel. And if something happens and it takes you off track, then you shift that. Sit up in your chair, point your head to the ceiling, smile, say no, or move your body, run. You're not going to be depressed on a treadmill, I promise you. Get a bigger vision for yourself and a vision for those around you. Don't be afraid to describe a future that's not even created yet because you're going to create it. Elevate the level of your thinking, you elevate your life. Everything in there. Most people don't know how fast they can swim until they have sharks that are pursuing them. But the ones who succeed in life's great race are the ones who wisely set their pace. Their pace is not set as fear requires, but every stroke is a product of their desires. So if you're on this line and you're sitting in an ocean filled with decisions, you, only you, can choose to be guided by those fears or by those visions. But not here, not at Switch. You're the ones who are going to set high goals. You're the ones who will reach high marks. You won't be waiting to see those sharks. Collect stories, collect information, collect data that can serve you and can lift you up and keep you from falling or collapsing and keep you from taking time off or making a way when you don't see a way. The knowing it's always possible because there's always more and there's more for you. You just got to grow into it. That's all it's about. And you got to have a vision. You got to dream big, man. What's the dream? What do you dream? Dream if you're not going your way, then dream bigger. There's a movie called Lava Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I took my son to see it when he was 5 years old. He's 28 now, and I'd been up working all night. And it's one of those movies where you have the glasses on, where you get the one's green, one's red. So I said he's 5 years old. I'll take a nap and let him watch his movie. I couldn't take my eyes off the movie because Shark Boy and Lava Girl got into it. They were having a lot of challenges, and Lava Girl said, when the chips are down, you don't think you can take another step. When you don't think you can breathe, when you feel like the world is beating on you and you can't get out, all you have to do is dream a bigger dream. There's a story of two young men working in the hot Florida sun, working on the orange groves. And when they got off work after working 10 hours, they were so tired. They saw a hill and they started walking up the hill. And I want you to imagine a tree. And they get up under the tree, sit down, and they both fall asleep. One brother wakes up first and he shakes his brother and says, wake up, wake up. His brother said, what are you doing? He said, I dreamt I had 1,000 orange groves. His brother said, 1,000 orange groves? Would you give me half of them? His brother said, no, I wouldn't give you half of my orange groves. That's crazy. He said, 1,000 orange groves, would you give me 10%? I said, no, I won't give you 10%. He said, come on, man, 1,000 orange groves, what would you give me? He said, I wouldn't even give you one orange. His brother looked at him, who's also his best friend. He said, 1,000 orange groves, how can you be so selfish? You wouldn't give me one orange? Why not? He looked at his brother and he said, because you're too lazy to dream for yourself. The dreams are free. Hustle is sold separately. Belief is sold separately. These are the things you have to work for and build for, but they won't just serve you in one thing. They'll serve you in all things because the foundation is the key. You never hit rock bottom, only rock foundation, but you rise and fall to the level of your training. So what I'm sharing with you in the ingredients this week, and we're gonna put it in a bowl this week, and next week we're gonna stir it up, and we're gonna put it in the pan and start cooking it, and we're gonna make that cake because I want you to learn the principles and share some things. Some of these things you may know, and some of them you may not know, or maybe they're not in sequence because ingredients, if they're not in sequence, it still will change the outcome of the dish. So we're going to put all this stuff in the crock pot, or we're going to put it in the mixing bowl, and we're going to add to it. We're going to add to it, and we're going to stack it. And I'm going to teach you the things that I love to teach, and that's the psychology of communication. The brain is an open loop. The brain always seeks closure. You want to know what that means? I'm going to tell you that next month. Okay. Tell you that next week, next month. Now, I want you to know that when I was speaking with Miss Townsend, she was really adamant about really how do we get people to win? I want people to see what I see. It's very difficult to see what somebody else sees unless you plant that seed there. And you have to attach it to what other people want. And the core thing that all of us want is we want a good life. We want our families to be happy. We want joy in our family dynamics. We just want to be okay and be able to contribute and do something. And if we can take the constrictions off of life, if we put our toe in anything we put it in, is golden. It makes it better. That we win no matter what we do because that's all we know how to do. And it comes easily to you. It's like easy as breathing. It's really about a philosophy. It's really about a recipe. And again, once you learn how to bake a cake, doesn't matter what kitchen you're in, you'll bake that cake no matter where you go. Now, make sure that you make your time multidimensional. In a few minutes I have left, I want you to type in the chat. Somebody type in the chat. What is the definition of time? Somebody type in there. What's the definition of time? Let me see what you got. Time is what? What is the definition of time? Let me get in there. Talk to me. Time is unlimited. All right. Time is money. Okay. Still. Okay. Okay. All right. Is there a definition of time? Yes. Is time important to all of us? Yes. How come nobody understands the definition of it? That would be helpful because, again, it's about awareness. Then we go into agreement. First of all, you're aware is there. Time is a continuum. It's a series of events consistently moving from the past through the present to the future. Time is a series of events consistently moving from the past through the present to the future. How many people have ever heard of time management? Okay, I know we got people in manage. You got some people here that run stuff. Management means to control. If I am managing your operation, I am to control the environment you have put me in charge of. That's my job. Not to change it, but to control it. To keep the culture where it needs to stay, make sure the numbers add up, make the performances there, and that we created a culture where people feel good about where they are, that transfer over to a customer or client or the work that we provide. So, time is events. Management is control. Time management is event control. If you're in a situation where you don't have enough time, you really do. But you have to learn how to control the events. You control the events, you control your life. You can accomplish anything. But if the events are out of control, then you lose it because you can't be in all these different places. That's why you want to be intelligent and you're like the sky. You just see, you sit and you see. You feel it. Just like if you can be in a crowded mall and you can feel if somebody's staring at you, somebody's watching you. You can feel it because energy is real. So, what energy are you putting out to the world on a cellular level? How are you speaking to yourself from the inside out? Are you telling yourself, I can't do it? Are you telling yourself, saying, I can do it? Or are you telling yourself, I'm doing it? Even if there's no evidence. Because when you plant a seed in that soil, first it has to grow down before it grows up. But if you plant grass seeds, you expect grass to grow. And it may not grow evenly. You may have some spots where you have to put more seed down. If the birds take your seed and fly away, Jim Rohn said, don't go chase the birds. There's always going to be challenges. But when you build yourself up mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and build that heart, because in the prosperous times, oh yeah, we can pull it out the pocket. In the lean times, you got to pull it out the heart. But you'll be prepared for whatever will come your way. You no longer play it to be average. Average is simply the top of the bottom or the bottom of the top, the best of the worst and the worst of the best. So if I close and tell you just to follow your dreams, wherever they may lead, and never get distracted by less worthy deeds. Remember to shelter them and nourish them and help them to grow. Let your heart hold them down deep where dreams go. Follow your dreams, pursue them with haste. Remember your life is too precious and it's too fleeting to waste. Be faithful and be loyal in all your days through. The dreams you follow, yeah, they'll always come true. So stand before your dreams, every woman, every man, every day. Stand before those dreams, every woman, every man. In times of trials, always believe that you can. And if you fall, know again you will rise. Know it. And when you feel weak, you focus on your prize. So with faith, keep walking towards your goal. By faith, keep talking from the depths of your soul. Switch, this whole organization, all these people has put together an opportunity for people like you and me. Trust the decision you make. Stay in there. Over time, you'll see. Don't turn your head away from your dreams. To turn back is a sin. You got to follow that dream until you win. I remember once I asked God, just give me one more chance before I die. I spread my wings and I learned to fly. Look, you got Diana, Kristen, Kathleen, you got Brad, you got everybody, Kathy. They're all holding up their end. When you stand on the shoulders of greatness, you'll always win. So keep working hard, keep doing what's right, and keep working that plan until that plan takes flight. Repeat after me. Say it's time to grow up. I can hear you. Say it's time to show up, and the whole world will see. There's power in my dreams, and they're alive in me. Say these are my dreams. Say these are my goals that I will defend, and I'll follow my dreams until I win. Say I'm a mountain mover. I am a difference maker. I'm a dragon slayer. I'm a problem solver. I'm here to win. I'm built to win. I click my switch every day. And I click my switch every day. And I click that switch every day. If I may, I want everybody to do me a favor. I want everybody to unmute real quick. Unmute your line real quick. Unless you're in a nightclub, it's real loud. Unmute. Unmute real quick. Unmute. I'm feeling it now. You ready? Put your hand over your heart. Put your hand over your heart. Repeat after me. Say, I love my life.
I love my life.
Like
I love my life.
All together now. Don't be coming in late. You got to get quiet. You are not the quiet. Put your hand over your heart. Say, I love my life.
I love my life.
Again, like you mean it. Say, I love my life.
I love my life.
I want to say, I love my life.
I love my life.
I don't really know you personally, but I think I do. And from the bottom of my heart, I love your life too. Thank you for having me. I look forward to coming back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Nothing much. It was good with you.
Kristen.
Awesome.
Take care, everybody. Have a good night. See you in a few weeks.
You got
Have
it.
a happy Thanksgiving with your families.
That song on Darby.
Recording. The car about to.
Give me that recording.
So did you say you